we have cities in Brazil that have no bank, just credit unions there. I think it's almost 400 of cities in this kind of situation. I believe we need to think to be closer our clients, to have more personalized services and understand the real needs of our clients.
Hello and welcome to Brazil is Not for Beginners. Today my guest is Louize Oliveira. She is the coordinator of sustainability at Sicoob, one of the big cooperatives here in Brazil. We're going to talk about cooperative banking, financial access, financial education. It's going to be great. Louize, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Excellent. So before we dive into Sicoob, cooperatives, financial access, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I was born in Minas Gerais, in Brazil. Beautiful state with wonderful food. Do you know?
I do. I've been a number of times. Minas Gerais is great.
Do you know about pão de queijo?
Of course.
Yeah,
Who doesn't know about pão de queijo?
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's the best food for me. But I grew up with my parents that really encouraged me to study as much as my ambitions. So I really believe in the power of education. That's why I work with this today. And I also work with sustainability things. I have been studying about this in an international program. In 2021. I was part of the Sustainable Leadership Program promoted by the United People Global NGO at the Hurricane Island in the United States. So I could learn more about this universe, and recently I finished my master's degree.
Congratulations.
Thank you. About financial education and financial literacy and how this could improve our financial market.
Where in Minas Gerais are you from? It's from a small city.
Yeah, a small city. We have almost 10,000 inhabitants there. Yeah, really small city. But I moved for another city to study. I was a lawyer. So I need to study in another city, and after I moved to São Paulo.
So I was wondering how you came to São Paulo. So when did you first come to São Paulo?
2021. My first year here.
But after spending some time in a transitional city.
Exactly.
Great. And you know, I want to dive into this idea of financial education and financial literacy. You and I talked earlier, and you talked about kind of the importance that it has on a micro level for people, but also on a macro level, how it impacts the economy and drives GDP growth and all of these things. I think we're going to dive into that. But you're working at Sicoob, which is a cooperative bank, and it's a unique model. I think Brazil is known for its big banks, Itaú, Bradesco, the state banks, Banco do Brasil, Caixa. Can you talk a little bit about cooperative banking and where did it come from? Where did this emerge, this idea of cooperative banking?
Perfect. I think it's important that we start with the difference between bank and credit unions, for example. When we talk about credit union, we have members, that's our clients, because we are a kind of association, a partnership business model. This is the main difference between both. And when we talk about bank, we talk about shareholders, right? So we are talking about capital. And also about cooperatives, we have different kind of cooperatives. Credit union is a kind of them. And when we think about the first cooperative in Brazil, we started at 1889 in a city called Ouro Preto in Minas Gerais, specifically about consumption. So they need to organize to buy some things for farming products, to agriculture, to improve their agriculture. So they organize in a cooperative so they could buy in a better price and grow up together. That's the main idea of the cooperative.
Very interesting.
And after this we have the first credit union in Brazil, in Nova Petrópolis, a city of Rio Grande do Sul, the year 1902. And the idea is the same, to have the equal conditions for a person who lives in that city. And at that time, they don't have any bank, just this credit union. So people need to have access to financial services. And the credit union is the way they found this.
Was this a movement, or was this more individual groups doing things?
I think we can understand as both. It's a movement because we have some principles and values that are shared with people, but as a society, we can understand as association movement, association of people that want the same goals, that have the same goals, so they solve some problem together and organize as association or partnership.
Okay, and in a cooperative, like, are the financial solutions or the financial instruments the same? Do I get, if I go join Sicoob or one of the other credit unions or cooperatives, am I getting the same types of financial instruments and support as a bank? I guess, what's the difference now if I go to Sicoob or if I go to Itaú or somebody like that?
You will have the same products, the same financial products, the same technology. It's very similar, but the main difference is the business model. For example, in a cooperative, in the end of the year, they will have a meeting to share the results. So all members, that's our clients, we will receive a part of the results. Don't matter you are a shareholder or not, you will receive as a client, as
some
a member.
Dividend.
Yeah, some dividend. Yeah, like that.
Assuming it was a good year.
Exactly. And other important thing is the people be part of the main decisions of the business. So that's why when we think about cooperative principles, we have one called education, because this is so important, because if you think clients will be part of the main decision, so they need to have access of education information to have a good decisions, right? So that's the idea. Clients will be part of the business. They will receive some results. They will receive some dividends, but they also need responsible for it. So they need to have information to do this.
Yeah, that makes sense. What do cooperatives do better than bigger banks, and what do they struggle with? So you said it's kind of the same product, same technology, but I would imagine a cooperative has a smaller tech team than a big global bank does, right? So things like that. So what is it that the cooperatives really do well? I imagine some of it is the personal touch and some of this financial education, but you could explain that a little bit more.
Yeah, this is a good question. In my opinion, we have some challenge. The first one is about our communication, to speak people what is a cooperative, and what we can offer, what's our value purpose, and I think we can do this better. We can improve the way we do this today, specifically in Brazil, because we have a big country here, so we need to speak with a lot of people in several contexts.
And I understand, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, that the cooperative model, each, I guess we call them branch, is kind of its own entity under the umbrella, right? So the Sicoob in, I don't know if it's by neighborhood or by city or how it works, but the Sicoob in my neighborhood in Sao Paulo might be doing something different than the Sicoob in your town in Minas Gerais, right? So it's trying to meet a different population. Is that correct? Or there's some centralization? How does that work?
Sicoob is a system of credit unions, so we have some process that's centralization, but when you talk about the brand, we already have this difference. Some Sicoobs have another brand because it's a local brand also. So you have some specific things in specific neighborhood. So this is a challenge, and also a way to be closer our members, because they look for the brand and they see, oh, it's my city brand, it's from my city. So that's a complex topic, because we have this as a challenge, but also as a strength.
Yeah, as a strength, as an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because the cooperative, I mean, you mentioned the two at the beginning. The first one was for farmers, right?
Yeah.
And so in a rural area, the cooperative would be focused on products around, I imagine, agricultural loans or equipment financing for the farm or something like that. And in the city, it's going to be different because they have different needs.
Yeah.
So interesting.
And when we have crisis moments,
Mhm.
we can act faster than others bank because we stay there together. So,
Mhm.
for example, last year we have a challenge in Rio Grande do Sul
Mhm.
that we could act immediately
Mhm.
to help people there because we were there and we know how people were at the moment. So in crisis moments, when we are closer our members, we can act fast.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
How does how does the strategy differ as well? So you're closer, is it more of a branch-based kind of outreach when you're talking about a cooperative, or is it more digital? Brazil is also the country of the digital banks, right? Nubank and Inter and all of these other banks. So how do cooperatives generally kind of engage with their members, and how is that changing in a country where Brazilians spend more time on WhatsApp than any other country, things like that?
We have been investing in technology to improve our our business, but we also have called business model phygital,
Okay.
which is a physical presence there and also a digital investment to connect both, the best word of the both.
Yeah.
So we have technology to solve problems to our clients.
Yeah.
But we also have agents in cities. For example, we have cities in Brazil that have no bank, just credit unions there. I think it's almost 400 of cities in this kind of situation. So we can we can offer services for our clients in the best way when we are physical there, when we have physical, but we also have investment in technology to be digital products for both.
Super interesting. I think we talk about it a lot on this podcast, kind of the size of Brazil, and this number of cities that doesn't have a bank is an incredible number. And I think we're going to talk about that when we talk about the financial education and financial access, and I want to go deeper there. But we've mentioned a couple of times Sicoob, which is where you work.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about Sicoob as an example of a cooperative? So when was it started? How does it function? Kind of what is Sicoob?
Perfect. Sicoob is a kind of a system of credit unions.
Okay.
And we have the first credit union of Sicoob began at 1985.
Okay.
After this, we have the system Sicoob as we have today in 1998.
Okay.
So now we have more than 90 million of members of
9 million.
clients.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, more than 90 million. Yeah, in the entire country.
Okay.
And we have more than 300 of credit unions of Sicoob in more than 2,400 cities in Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah, and 450 cities that have any bank, just credit union, just Sicoob located there. Yeah.
That's an important thing. So as a system, I guess it's an association. So you have individual cooperatives in Sao Paulo or in somebody else in a region. I guess, does it work that way? Is it regional or is it city-based, or how do these cooperatives come together under the Sicoob umbrella?
Yeah, we have this system that organizes the process, the technology, and the way we offer services to our members.
Okay.
But we have a special way to credit analysis, considering the context, the local context.
Okay.
For example, talking about financial inclusion, we have some different business in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
For example, in the north part of Brazil, We have a coffee called Aruá Coffee that was that they have credit at Sicoob to improve their business, and today they have a lot of prizes. And the people that found this coffee, this brand, are indigenous, so they have some difficult to get credit at the market, the financial market. So as Sicoob was in the same city of them, they could access this credit and they could improve their business because we understand the local needs. And I think this is the main idea of credit unions: understand the local needs and act to help them with credit, of course, and products, financial products.
Okay, that makes sense. And it's a great service that you guys are providing. You talk a lot about, or I guess the Sicoob literature, and you've talked about it a couple times. We've mentioned that kind of the main idea here is this idea of financial literacy, about financial education. Can you talk about the importance of that to Sicoob and to kind of Brazil's development?
Yeah, for sure. Today, financial education in Brazil is also a law. It's, for example, we need central bank active for this, because after the COVID-19 pandemic, we have some problems with overdebts, for example, in the entire country. So all financial institutions need to promote some solution for financial education to their clients. This is mandatory for all financial institutions, but specifically in credit unions, we have also principles to act with financial education, but we have also, we can use this as a competitive agenda or as a competitive way to make our strategy. For example, when we have more clients with more high level of financial literacy, we have a low credit risk. We can see this kind of association. That's what I researched in my master's degree. And we have this evidence. So if you want to have a good portfolio, we have to have good results. We can invest in financial education to get good credit, and we attend better our clients. So we will have low credit risk investing in financial education or financial literacy.
Okay.
That's the main idea.
Yeah. What, so obviously I think that makes sense. If people are educated about how to use money, how to rely on money, how to handle debt. I think debt is more complex than people think it is, managing it. I've done a lot of work on this as well, which we can talk about separately. But implementing it is another thing. So how do cooperatives and what does Sicoob do in specific around this? What types of programs are you running? What have you seen? Maybe we can take a step back. What are the challenges that Brazilians face around this type of financial education? And then maybe building on that, what are the programs that Sicoob is running that have seen success? What works in this space? So we can start with the challenges first, where debt is complicated, right?
How to do this, right?
Yeah.
So when we think about financial education, we think about courses and more courses, but we know it's just the only solution that we have for this. So we have a model to act in the right moment, which we call it teachable moment, to offer financial education. So for example, when the client will get a credit pre-approval, they have some solution on financial education to analyze if the best idea for them. Or for example, they want to pay the credit card. And Brazil, I don't know how it works in other countries, but in Brazil they have the option to pay a minimum value at the credit card. You don't need to pay the entire value.
Revolve.
Yeah.
It's quite expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not good behavior, even for the financial institution. Maybe people think, oh, it's good for financial institution because it's so expensive for clients, so they will have better results, but it's not true, because when the clients do this, they increase the credit risk.
Okay.
So financial institutions need to pay more for handle for attend this kind of clients with high credit risk. So that's the idea. Offer financial education courses and also financial education tips during specific moments in the relationship between financial institution and clients. We mapping this kind of teachable moments, and we offer our financial education solutions in these right moments.
Okay. Are you seeing are there certain moments that seem to be better? Are there different periods where people are more open to this type of education? I'm genuinely curious, actually. What's effective? Where are the moments of more effectiveness?
Normally between 1 for 15 days in default is the best moment to you offer some financial education solution, and this could be change some behavior. But after 15 days, it's not more effective. Thank you, as before. So 1 from 15 days is the best moment.
What is it? Just that people are more aware of the debt at that point, and what is it about those first 15 days that makes it more effective?
They are open to reorganize the financial life. Okay. So they could probably they could forget some bill, or they could have some specific moment of difficult. So when we offer, they could reorganize, and they could, for example, ask for a specific credit for renegotiation to reorganize the debt. So they could act in this kind of moment.
Yeah, I think we see these artificial deadlines that don't always align with people's realities.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're a farmer, you need a lot of debt to plant your fields, and then you make a lot of money 3 or 4 months later when the crops grow. But my credit card works on a monthly basis. So how do I balance that, right? So I think, and it happens anyway, right? An emergency happens and my paycheck comes next week. Just there's a difference between kind of cash flow and liquidity than actual income, and those don't always align the same way, I think.
Yeah, and we also, one other interesting thing that we learn with this agenda at Sicoob is when we offer this kind of help to our clients, they are more loyal with us.
Okay.
So, for example, thanks, this Sicoob tell me I can organize my financials in another way. So I prefer have my money there, because when I need help, I know I can get help there.
Yeah, I was going to ask how this type of agenda reinforces how it ties to the cooperativism principles, and also kind of how it supports Sicoob's business model, because you mentioned that idea of kind of it strengthens the credit portfolio and the credit risk underlying it. So I don't know if there's anything else kind of about this agenda and this type of work that ties into the values and the business model of Sicoob.
We have 2 sides of this agenda. The first one is about overdebt, so we can prevent overdebt when we act with financial education, and the second one is about loyalty that I told you. Yeah. So this makes sense for any financial institution, because everybody wants prevent overdebt, and everybody wants to have loyalty clients, right? But when we think about cooperative, it's more important because we have some principles that organize our business model in that way. So we have the principle about education, and we also have a principle about community, concern of community. So the cooperative needs this community to survive, right? So they want to have a health community, financial health, a good financial health, to improve their business, and also to improve the economy, the local economy. So it's not the social thing, it's also a social and economic thing or strategy to our business.
Okay. What can other types of financial institutions maybe take away from the cooperativist model? So you talked here about this idea of kind of limiting overdebtedness and how everybody would benefit from that, but are there other insights from being cooperative that you think other financial institutions could learn from?
I believe the financial market is changing a lot, specifically with AI and new technologies. And when I think to this new market, I believe we need to think about sustainable economy. So we need to grow, but we need to grow with sustainable, in a sustainable way. I believe we need to think to be closer our clients, to have more personalized services and understand the real needs of our clients. And I believe we don't know this staying just in São Paulo and look for the entire country in the same way. We need to be there. We need to know the local needs, and so we can act effective to help them.
We need to be in the 415 cities that don't have banks,
exactly,
and reach the people that don't have bank accounts.
Yeah.
I think we've seen a lot of progress in Brazil in terms of kind of the reduction of people that don't have access to an account. And it seems like it's kind of obviously the big banks, the digital banks and the cooperatives doing a lot more of that outreach to drive that last mile delivery to customers and reach them and give them products they needed. Very interesting. You mentioned this kind of changing nature. You talk about technology. Kind of what is the role of a cooperative in this evolving situation? So if there is more digital access, if there is more technology, kind of what keeps you optimistic about the role of cooperatives going forward?
I believe in investing in technology. Probably it will be necessary, but also rethink our model. Also, I think we not just to offer financial products more. We need to offer a good experience to our clients. And I think this change will drive us to this goal to look for the experience and to think about the entire experience. So, for example, before a decision to invest some value in a bank, you need to plan this, right? You will research, you will learn about this. So why we can't help them to plan this? And when I say them, I am saying to all our clients, not just the better clients or the rich one, but all them could have this kind of help to organize and to planning so they can make a decision.
Right. I think technology enhancing the advantage and the personalization that you guys offer as a cooperative, right? So I think that makes sense in terms of, I guess, with more options, people want more personalization and more understanding of themselves. So I like the cooperative model. I think it makes a lot of sense. And you gave that example of Ottawa and some of these people that normally wouldn't have access to credit. And so I think that's really important. I always like to end these conversations by asking, the name of this podcast is Brazil is not for beginners. So what does that expression mean to you?
This means Brazil is a large country, so with a big population, so it's not easy to speak with a diverse and a large population. And we also have a big economy, so you need to be prepared to handle with all of this. And even if you want to live or to work in Brazil, you need to be prepared for this.
Excellent. And to wrap up, I always like to ask if my guests have any expressions they really love or any habits that are uniquely Brazilian. I don't know if anything stands out to you in that respect.
I have a lot of expressions that I really like in Brazil. but
Please feel free to share all of that.
I don't know how to translate that to English, so I will
Try
tell
them in
you
Portuguese and we can.
Okay, my best one that I really like is rapadura doce, mas não é mole não. Do you know?
Rapadura doce, mas não é mole. It's sweet, but it's not soft, right?
Yeah, it's like to say, oh, it will be good, but it's hard. You need to be prepared to do this. You need to.
It'll be the reward will be worth the effort. But you have to put in some effort.
Exactly. I really like this one, but I also would like to recommend some authors from Brazil.
Yeah.
And I would like to say about Guimarães Rosa and Clarice Lispector.
Okay.
That I think they represent our culture and how our people are. I really believe this.
Okay. What is it about? What are those authors? What do they write about? So I've heard of Guimarães Rosa. I have not heard of Clarice Lispector. I'm unfamiliar with her.
Okay.
What do they write about? Why should somebody read their books?
I recommend A Hora da Estrela. It's from Clarice Lispector.
Okay.
And to think about the life, we have Grandes Sertão Veredas from Guimarães Rosa.
Okay.
That have a special sentence that he said, the life is not about the end, but about the journey. Okay. So I believe in this. I think we need to appreciate each moment and not just focus in the end of the line.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of expressions in Portuguese, I think, and in English as well about enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
And going from there. Great. Well, thank you, Louize. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me about cooperatives, about financial education. How can people learn more about Sicoob? And how can people connect with you?
Okay, people can know more about Sicoob at sicoob.com.br.
Yeah, easy enough.
Yeah, and they can connect with me by LinkedIn.
Okay.
Louize Oliveira.
Yeah.
I also would like to recommend they know the International Alliance of Cooperative.
Okay.
That have a lot of information about cooperative around the world, not just Brazil.
Yeah. Very cool. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching and listening.